So unless you've been living under a rock, you know that this was the opening weekend for the new Avengers movie, Avengers Endgame. Personally, not super into the Avengers movies, but I am into one thing in particular, and that is making money. So I saw an article that came out today that talked about how Avengers Endgame is expected to be the highest grossing movie of all time. And so naturally, my question was, just how much money will Marvel be making off of Avengers Endgame? That's what we're going to answer in this video today. Now I want to go ahead and do a little test here and see how many people have actually seen this movie so far. So if you've seen Avengers Endgame, drop a like on this video. And if you haven't seen this movie yet, drop me a comment down below and let me know why you haven't seen it yet. Maybe you were busy this weekend or this isn't your cup of tea. Just curious what people's thoughts are on this movie. But anyways, like I said, Avengers Endgame is expected to be the highest grossing movie of all time. And in order for it to do that, it would have to beat out the top 3 highest grossing movies, which just out of curiosity, I went ahead and looked that up. Number 1 is Avatar, which came out in 2009, which grossed $2.79 billion. Number 2, Titanic, came out in 1997, grossing $2.19 billion. And then number 3, Star Wars: The Force Awakens, came out in 2015, grossing $2.07 billion. So just how much money did Avengers Endgame make in the first weekend? Let's go ahead and look at the numbers here. So Avengers Endgame had a record-breaking opening weekend here, $350 million in North America alone, and worldwide $1.2 billion, making this the first movie ever to gross over $1 billion in opening weekend. So they have already absolutely obliterated previous opening weekend records. So obviously it seems like this movie is going to be a smash out of the park success. So just how much money will they be making from this movie? And to determine how much money they're going to make from this movie, it's pretty simple. You take the total costs with producing and marketing this movie, and then you take the box office sales, and you subtract out these numbers, and that gives you an idea of how much money they are going to be making. So the production cost for this movie alone was an astounding $350 million plus $150 million in marketing costs for a total of $500 million spent on Avengers Endgame. Now, Avengers Endgame is the longest Marvel movie of all time with a runtime of 3 hours and 2 minutes. So just in case you were wondering, that is a cost of $2,747,252.75 per minute of what it cost them to produce the Avengers Endgame movie. So if you haven't seen that movie yet, think about that while you're in the theater, about $2.8 million per minute to produce and market this particular movie. Now, if they were to become the highest grossing movie of all time, they would have to beat out the number 1 movie, which we said was Avatar, meaning they would have to come in at around $3 billion of worldwide box office sales. And if they're able to achieve that, that means they will make around $2.5 billion from this movie from an overall investment of $500 million. And it's important to understand that that does not include any sales of merchandise, that does not include any sales of their other movies as people have renewed interest in the Marvel series, and that also does not include any future DVD, Blu-ray, or streaming of this movie revenue they're going to make after this movie is released. And this is basically the way that it works in the movie industry. If you have a successful movie, you can potentially make a crazy amount of money and have a 5 or 6 times ROI, or even more in some cases. But if you are wrong and your movie is a flop, you can actually lose hundreds of millions of dollars. And just to show you guys an example of this, I went ahead and looked up the 3 movies that lost more money than any other movies out there. And coming in at number 1 is the classic King Arthur: Legend of the Sword. Literally have never heard of this movie, but they somehow managed to lose $150 million in terms of the overall cost of this movie versus the box office sales. Number 2, Sinbad: Legend of the Seven Seas. Actually, I have heard of that one. They lost $125 million. And then number 3 is John Carter. They lost $122 million on that movie. So when they're right, they can make a ton of money, and when they're wrong, it can be a $100 million plus loss for them. But obviously, Marvel's Avengers Endgame is going to be a wildly successful movie, and I just thought it was interesting to take a peek at the numbers here and see just how much they are going to be making from this movie. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you subscribe to be notified of any future uploads, and hit that like button if you've already seen this movie, and if you haven't, drop me a comment down below. But anyways, that's going to wrap this up, and I will see you in the next video.